All right, let's jump right in. Today's explainer is all about how the source materials are showing us a massive shift, taking artificial intelligence from, a neat little party trick to a legitimate revenue-generating business. If you've ever felt like you're stuck on the sidelines of this whole AI revolution because you don't have coding or business skills, well, this explainer is exactly what you need. We've distilled the data into a step-by-step startup guide, and we're going to show you how to launch with absolutely zero prior experience.
So here is our game plan for today. We'll start by laying the foundation, which is all about the product mindset. From there, we are going to walk step by step through 4 specific strategies: micro digital worksheets, viral wall art and the Etsy launch, Faceless YouTube channels, and finally, spreadsheet templates. Let's get to it.
First up, the foundation, the product mindset. Our source material points out a really stark contrast in how, honestly, about 90% of people are using tools like Claude AI. They're stuck in the old way, treating it like a simple conversational chatbot, just asking it random questions. The new way, the winning way, is to view Claude as an instant digital product generator. You aren't just talking to it, you are directing it to build actual assets that people will happily pay for. It's a really simple mental shift, but man, it completely removes those traditional barriers to entry for anyone wanting to start a business. Okay, moving to strategy 1, micro digital worksheets. So here's your entire software checklist to launch this specific business today. It's literally just 3 tools. You use Claude AI for your product ideation and content generation. Then Canva, which is totally free, handles all your visual formatting. And finally, Etsy is your sales platform, immediately plugging you into their 450 million monthly visitors. That is the whole tech stack, nothing complicated. And just to anchor this in reality, the source data highlights actual monthly revenue from some standard Etsy listings right now. Check this out. A bundle of therapy worksheets is bringing in around $1,100 a month. A single 27-page self-sabotage worksheet, $200 a month. An ADHD worksheet priced at just $3.50 is also yielding about $200 monthly. It's a fascinating look at how you can build steady, completely attainable streams of passive income. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually make one of these if I have zero design or writing experience? The entry-level task is actually incredibly simple. You literally just paste a prompt, exactly like this one, right into Claude. You don't have to outline 25 pages yourself. You don't have to go research the structure. You just tell the AI what you want, and in seconds, literally seconds, it writes the entire comprehensive workbook for you. So here is your exact zero-to-launch game plan. Once you generate that raw text in Claude, you download it and drag it straight into Canva. Now, full disclosure, Claude isn't perfect. The formatting when you import it will probably be a bit messy. But all you have to do is spend maybe 30 minutes centering text boxes, picking a nice font, and fixing basic alignment. After that, you export it as a standard PDF and list it on your Etsy shop for anywhere from $5 to $20. And boom, you've just created a digital product from scratch in under an hour.
All right, strategy 2, viral wall art and the Etsy launch.
For our viral wall art checklist, the tech stack shifts just a little bit. Claude is still your behind-the-scenes assistant, acting as your prompt engineer, but now we're introducing Midjourney, which handles the high-quality AI image generation. And of course, Etsy remains your marketplace for selling. And the potential here? It's absolutely staggering. $600,000. According to our source material, this is the lifetime revenue of just one single Etsy shop that sells really simple, printable botanical art. Think about that. People buy the digital files, print them out at home, and stick them in their own frames. But I know what you're thinking. What if you aren't an artist, but if you literally can't even draw a stick figure? Well, here is where you start. You take a screenshot of a successful art listing on Etsy, you upload that image right into Claude, and you paste this exact prompt. You are literally having AI reverse engineer the artwork for you. Claude analyzes the image and gives you the precise prompts to feed into Midjourney, which then generates completely unique, yet similarly styled pieces of beautiful art. It's almost like magic. Now here is where a lot of beginners get stuck and fail. To successfully sell art on Etsy, you'd really have to provide the customer with multiple file sizes, like an 8x10, a 16x20, all that stuff. Traditionally, cropping these manually takes weeks of incredibly tedious work. But here is the crazy part, the real game changer. You can simply ask Claude to code a custom image cropping tool just for you. You don't need to know a single line of code. Claude just spits out a functioning digital tool in seconds that automatically perfectly crops your art into every standard frame size. So your launch protocol for wall art looks like this. You generate the art in Midjourney.
You use your fancy new custom Claude tool to crop the files instantly. And then, pay attention because this is a massive secret for competing with the top sellers. You go buy a few cheap professional lifestyle room mock-ups directly on Etsy. You digitally drop your art into those beautifully lit, nicely framed room photos, and then you publish your listing. By doing that, you instantly look like a high-end, established brand right out of the gate.
Moving right along to strategy 3, Faceless YouTube. In this business model, your software checklist basically turns you into a movie director. Claude is your head writer, handling all your niche ideas and scripting. Higgsfield AI steps in to generate the actual video animations and visual assets. And for the audio, you can use 11 Labs for an ultra-realistic AI voiceover, which means you never ever have to show your face or use your real voice on camera. So what kind of videos actually pull in viewers? The source material highlights several proven, highly successful niches. We're talking about scary story narrations that use slow, creepy AI still images, or 3D paper cutout style animations for kids' stories. There's one incredible example mentioned, a historical mini-documentary about medieval castles. It was entirely composed of simple AI-generated still images with a voiceover, and it pulled in 1.2 million views. The market is just huge for informative, visually engaging content.
And hey, if you're worried about creative block, don't be. Your zero experience entry point is literally just asking Claude for niche ideas. That's it. Once it spits out a concept that you like, you ask it to write the script, you feed lines of that script into an AI video generator, and you just sit back and watch the visuals assemble. It becomes this totally seamless, automated assembly line.
Finally, let's look at strategy 4, spreadsheet templates. Okay, this final checklist introduces a slightly more advanced software stack. It involves the Google Cloud Console and the Google Workspace CLI. Now, I know that might sound a bit intimidating if you have zero coding experience, but take a deep breath. Claude acts as your personal IT assistant, holding your hand through every single step of the process. So why even bother going through the technical setup? Well, because of this number right here, $16,000. That represents the monthly revenue of just one single ultimate budget spreadsheet being sold on Etsy. People are desperate for simple ways to organize their chaotic lives, whether it's their personal finances, planning a wedding, or organizing content calendars, and they will happily pay you good money to solve that problem for them. Here is your setup protocol. First, you simply paste the initial setup prompt into Claude. Claude will then tell you exactly, click by click, where to go to create your credentials in Google Cloud. It will actually give you the exact line of code to copy and paste to install the Workspace CLI. If you just calmly follow Claude's instructions chronologically, you'll easily link the AI directly to your Google Sheets. And once they're connected, Claude does all the heavy lifting of building those complex formulas and pretty layouts, which you can then package up and sell over and over again. Well, we have definitely covered a ton of ground today. We've talked about shifting our mindset from just chatting with AI to actually creating products. We've explored microdigital worksheets, the massive potential of viral wall art, launching faceless YouTube channels, and building automated spreadsheet templates. You now have the exact tool checklists, the specific starting prompts, and the step-by-step launch protocols. Seriously, the barrier to entry has never been lower than it is right now. So the only question left to ask is, which zero-experience AI business model will you launch today? Pick one, paste that first prompt, and just start building. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.